here in England, people eat mostly the same thing every day because I
Yeah,
feel people eat
they don't have a taste. They don't have taste. I would say that they don't have a taste.
Just about every disease is diet related.
What's your favorite food?
Probably McDonald's.
Obesity is a precursor of many types of cancers.
Chicken nuggets.
It's probably pasta.
I eat a lot of takeaway, I'm not going to lie, like KFC, McDonald's, Pizza Hut.
That in turn increases your risk of developing heart disease by at least fivefold.
Anything with tomato sauce and cheese.
Hash browns, sausages, bacon.
Pizza, pasta.
Cheese, cheesecake.
Pizza, just whack in the oven. It's quick and easy, isn't it? Quick and easy.
What destroying our health, producing obesity, is portions we eat.
Yeah, the kids do like the fast foods like the most of the time, and even like if you ask them to every day what they want to eat, they either want a burger or something like that, fatty food.
You know, food is there, whether you get born, or get married or whatever, it's all food related. Standard Western diet in World War II is completely different. If we look at whatever is the standard Western diet now, in general it's all fast food. One of the questions that I ask patients is, do you enjoy cooking? Most of them say no, and the ones that say yes don't actually cook as you would imagine from scratch. They just assemble things and put them in the microwave, and that's their cooking.
So if you go to the official data from the Office of National Statistics, there's no question that the UK population is getting heavier, definitely. And if you had somebody who was eating mostly fresh, natural ingredients and just eating processed foods once or twice a day, the amount of preservative, etc., that they would consume is relatively harmless. What's tending to happen today is that people are eating almost nothing but processed food, and the cumulative doses of these things that they're acquiring over a 24-hour period become much more significant.
You consume sugar in most of the processed food, including meats and vegetables. They put some sugar in it. You consume sugar in your dessert, you consume sugar in your drinks, and then you go and eat in between meals snacks which also can be full of sugar.
Your parents may have put sugar in their tea and coffee, but they probably put 1 to 2 teaspoonfuls. A can of Coca-Cola contains 6 teaspoonfuls.
Like everything, it's how much of these things we are eating. But in general, there's a lot of added sugar to things that isn't declared in just about everything that's processed in a can or a packet. And if it isn't sugar, it's artificial sweeteners, which are actually worse than sugar.
The body developed over millennia to cope with eating food of relatively what we call in science low glycemic index. That is to say, you eat vegetables, you eat natural foods, they turn to sugar in the body, but they turn to sugar slowly. And as a result, your body is designed that when you eat, it takes your body around an hour for the body to produce insulin to mobilize the glucose into cells and start it being utilized, etc. The big problem now is that we have a lot of food that is much more readily available to the body. When you eat this food, your blood sugar rises very fast and your insulin does not keep up with it. As a result of this, when your body finally produces the insulin, it overshoots, by which time you've stopped eating and your blood sugar is already falling. So now, instead of gradually falling over the next 6 or 8 hours, your blood sugar goes down very, very quickly. And 2 hours after you've eaten your burger, your big fried chicken or whatever, suddenly you're feeling hungry again because your blood sugar is plummeting. What we really need to do is re-educate people to going back to eating foods which fit in more naturally with the body's physiology.
If you live on a diet of processed foods, what happens is that you displace the nutrients required and the enzymes that are required to digest and absorb. So you're giving the body a very hard time. And on the odd occasion, eating something processed, the problem is people are doing this every day, multiple times a day. And that's where the damage begins.
The other side of that is, can we cure these things by eating healthy? People who have been diagnosed with diabetes can make all manifestations of the condition go away if they move to a healthy diet and a healthy lifestyle.
Create internal conditions that prevent disease from getting a hold. And that's one thing that nutrients and food can do, and not anything that drugs can do. You begin by adding in more fresh produce, particularly vegetables, and then looking at real unprocessed foods. Eating needs to become a lifestyle and not something you sporadically think on diet for 5 days because I've eaten too much. Yeah, it should be a lifestyle of unprocessed foods, bulk of foods that have no labels.
Don't deprive yourself from anything if it doesn't compromise your life, if you're not allergic to it, for example. The more you deprive yourself from group of food, the more you will crave it, the more you will drop meals, the more you will have episodes of overeating. So I think steady, consistent, small portions with everything, I think is the best way of living, and do a lot.
Generally speaking, 2 to 3 meals a day, portion controlled, increase overall exercise output. Get up and walk around several times a day during work. Do more activity in the evenings instead of sitting watching the TV. We need evolution rather than revolution. The small changes can make really quite a big difference.